This is Twit. It's time for our home theater segment with Mr. Scott Wilkinson. He's a home theater geek, contributor at techhive.com, and a regular welcome feature on this network each and every week. Hello, Scotty.
Hey, Leo. Happy Super Bowl, day before Super Bowl.
I know you couldn't care less. You're the Puppy Bowl guy.
I'm going to be watching the Puppy Bowl. Actually, that's not true. This year, I'm going to watch some of the Puppy Bowl, but I'm also going to actually...
Wait a minute. Why? There's nothing going on. It's a bunch of dogs inside a football-shaped...
kennel. But it's so cute, and their puns are so good.
Oh, it's the announcers that make it good. Because the puppies don't know they're playing a game. They're just running around.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I tried to watch it for 30 seconds once, and it's like, okay, I get it. I don't need any more of this.
But the halftime show is going to feature Katy Perry.
Scott.
It's
Some
hilarious.
of us will be much more interested in the other thing going on.
There is this
game.
other sort of, I don't know, sort of game with a ball that people kick with their foot.
I know I'm not alone because people are running to the store right now to get a television just to watch the Puppy Bowl. Or maybe that Super Bowl thing. I don't know.
Well, it might be more like Super Bowl. Yeah, exactly.
Actually, there was a big brouhaha. I mentioned it at the top of the hour. We talked last week about the fact that you'd be able to watch it streaming. And one of the best ways to watch it would be, of course, on your 4K HDR TV. And if you had a Roku, one of the high-end Rokus, you'd be able to watch it. Except then all of a sudden, 2 days ago, Roku said, we're going to delete all the Fox apps midnight, January 31st, last night.
Right. Because their retransmission contract ran out that day.
Well, now, that seems to me like it would be a shame if your fans was not able to watch the Super Bowl on the Roku. Who is it? Whose idea was this? Do we know?
I don't know.
They made an agreement, by the way. And if it hit me because this was how I was going to watch it. I have a Roku Ultra. I put the Fox Sports app on it, got it all set up, signed in.
Yep.
On my 4K TV, and it's going to be the kind of the background TV. Because we have a big,
it's going to be in your
100-inch
champagne room.
In the champagne, it's the champagne room. You'll be charged for admission.
This is the first year that the Super Bowl is going to be shown in 4K and, more importantly, HDR, high dynamic range,
and maybe even more importantly, 60 frames a second.
Correct. That's more important than the number of pixels on the screen. I agree with you 100%.
Will I get 60p on Roku?
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Good. All right.
Absolutely. And here we are at the last instant. They finally signed a deal, and Fox is going to be on Roku.
This reminds me so much. We've seen this happen with Dish, DirecTV, where they say, well, sorry, you're not getting any more ESPN. So this is like a part of the negotiation now.
It is.
And I feel like we are the pawns.
Yep.
We are just dinosaurs are battling. Get out of their way because they're going to step on you. It feels so abusive of my relationship with my TV provider.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to tell you that Roku isn't the only option.
Yeah. Apple TV, Fire TV.
Well, no. I want to make this very clear. A lot of places you can get 4K, but not necessarily HDR, which
Apple TV, no.
Apple TV, no. Dish, satellite, no.
Oh.
You can get 4K, but not HDR.
How about Xfinity? Comcast's Xfinity X1 supposedly has 4K.
4K, but I have not yet been able to determine whether it's got HDR. Xbox One, I don't know. Android TV, I don't know.
Yeah, I have an NVIDIA Shield. In fact, I know Mike Heiss, who joins us every week in the chat room to talk about this stuff, your colleague. He said he's going to compare the NVIDIA Shield, which has its own upscaling, its AI upscaling, with... I love how they just paint everything with AI as if that makes it better. It's not AI.
That's obviously. It's just like when it used to be, the word quantum used to be the thing that made everything better.
But he's going to compare that to the upscaling that Fox is going to do, pre-sending it out.
That's right.
Because it's shot 1080p.
Here's another thing. It's being shot at 1080p, and Fox is upscaling it to 4K. Now, they're using professional upscaling gear. So it's going to be very, very good. But I read in one of the, there are a couple of articles, one in Digital Trends that I recommend. Caleb Dennison, another friend of mine, is in Miami covering the technology that they're using this year for the first time.
I'm a I could have done that.
I know, me too.
I got a million listeners. What?
Anyway, he interviewed some of the Fox people who said they're shooting it at 1080p 60 frames per second because shooting at 4K 60 actually causes more motion artifacts.
Yeah.
And so actually
that
shooting at 1080p and upscaling makes it look better.
Okay. I'll buy that.
Yeah. And they're capturing in high dynamic range in a format called HLG, which is a format used by BBC or developed by BBC and NHK in Japan for use in live broadcast. And it's actually going to be available in HLG on the Fubo TV app. This is another app I want to make sure everybody understands. This is a subscription service. You pay $55 a month, I think, which is a lot, but they give you a free week's trial. So if you want to watch the Super Bowl on Fubo TV, sign up and then then cancel. But they are going to show it in HLG. Everybody else who is showing it in a high dynamic range is going to be converting the HLG to HDR10, which is a more common format. More TVs support that than HLG. Most TVs, modern TVs.
So that might be why Apple TV and some of these other boxes aren't doing the HDR. They can't somehow.
For some
technically, because I mean, Apple TV does HDR. I watch HDR movies all the time.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
but for some reason, they can't do the live stream.
Right.
And I don't know why.
Well, it's just what's being sent to them. It's being sent in a way that they can decode it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But DirecTV, channel 105, apparently is going to do HDR. So if you have DirecTV, you'll be able to see it that way.
Is there somewhere I can go to find out?
I've
been Googling it, and there's lots of articles.
There's a lot of articles on it, and there's not any real consistent information. I've been very frustrated by that, which is why I've spent a lot of time putting together sort of a list here. Before we run out of time, I want to make sure that everybody knows that there are some TV deals now, as there always are before Super Bowl Sunday, and you only have one day left. But if you're still looking for a TV deal, I got a few for you.
Good, because you may say, hey, I really want to see this. That's right.
The lowest price. Now, there's plenty of them, TVs that I don't recommend because they're edge lit or they're just not very good. The TCL 55R617, the 6 Series TCL, is $500 on Amazon and Walmart, 55-inch. 65-inch for $700. Vizio PQ65, that's a 65-incher for $1,000. Samsung 65Q70 for $1,200 on Amazon. LG 55-inch C9 OLED for $1,500. That's a hell of a deal.
The C9 is very good. That's kind of like the one I have. I have a
B7, I think.
Yeah, or 6, I think. But it's from 2016. That's what that number means.
The 55C9 is fantastic.
Excellent.
You want to get a 75-inch, the TCL 75-inch 6 Series for $1,700 on Amazon, or the Sony XBR 75 X900 for $1,700 also. So there are some really good deals out there right now. And if you are going to jam and get a TV for tomorrow's game, those are the ones I recommend.
When will the Puppy Bowl be broadcast in 4K?
Oh, the same time as the Super Bowl, of course.
But in 4K HDR, I want to see those little puppies. Every hair on their little puppy heads. Scott Wilkinson, Home Theater Geek. He's at techhive.com, and it's always a pleasure, Scott. Thank you for the tips. Everybody, run and get a TV now.
That's right.
Yay.